Hello, I'm Radhika Desai, here on behalf of Green Left, Gauche, verte. I bring you greetings from Winnipeg, a city that stands on the stolen lands of the Anishinaabe, the Cree, the Oji-Cree, the Dakota, and the Dene peoples, and is also the homeland of the Métis Nation. Our city's inhabitants are sustained by water from Shoal Lake, even though the members of the Shoal Lake 40 First Nation do not have clean water. Green Left Gauche Wert and I would like to thank Venezuela's Bolivarian government for organizing this critically important Second International Forum of Re-Encounter with Mother Earth to celebrate and defend her rights, and for inviting us to share our thoughts on why these rights must be defended against capitalism and imperialism. These are, of course, the very forces that are trying to undermine the admirable social achievements of your historic republic. Green Left Gauche Vert is an eco-socialist organization that has emerged on the stolen lands the world calls Canada. We are eco-socialists. We aim to achieve a rational, scientifically advanced society based on respecting and achieving balance among the rights of all human beings, of all the other creatures, and their common Mother Earth. In Canada, the economy is based on the destructive and extractivist settler colonial model. The Bolivarian government will be well aware that this model is also central to Canada's imperialism and that the desire of Canadian mining companies to exploit Venezuela's fabulous mineral wealth is what is really behind the creation of the so called Lima Group, not the desire to promote democracy or human rights. Green Left Gauche Vert is campaigning against this imperialist foreign policy and notes with satisfaction that the Lima Group has just lost Lima. Given Canada's extractivist economic model, the most fundamental principle of our eco socialism must be and is respect for the land, sovereignty, and individual and collective rights of Indigenous peoples. Indigenous traditional economies were based on the principle of respecting the rights of Mother Earth and all her creatures, of preserving her and her bounty as if it were a trust for coming generations. Their displacement to make way for the extractivist and destructive settler colonial model lies at the roots of all the threats faced by Mother Earth. That displacement was the work of capitalism. It has subjected the world, its people, and peoples to exploitation, settler colonial displacement, and imperial subjugation. Mother Earth has existed for over 45 million centuries, and humankind has existed on her for about 2,000 centuries. Yet, in less than the last 3 centuries, the motor of relentless and chaotic profit making and accumulation has transformed what Karl Marx called human society's metabolism with nature, that is to say, their productive systems, into engines of destruction of societies and of Mother Earth herself. It is an engine for transferring the fruits of the labor of the many to the few on such a scale and at such a pace as to destroy Mother Earth herself. In so doing, capitalism has vastly accelerated the pace at which humanity is hurtling towards the ecological emergency. Today, it consists of rapid planetary warming, loss of biodiversity, pollution, and unspeakable cruelty to farmed animals. The last is important. The world is wondering about the origins of the present pandemic. US efforts to politicize the search of its origins may ensure that we may never know them. What we do know, however, is that a 2020 United Nations Environmental Programme report noted that the frequency of zoonotic viruses jumping onto humans has increased in recent decades. Relentless capitalist urban development, farming, and leisure activities are invading wildlife habitats at an accelerated pace. At the same time, genetically identical animals are industrially massed in factory farms. More generally, loss of biodiversity, including loss of pollinators, is making agriculture harder. Pollution is choking our oceans, lakes, and soils. It is strangulating life. It is making the lungs of newborns look as if they were those of smokers on a pack a day. It is making cities unlivable. Finally, there is climate change. The summer of 2021 has witnessed such extreme weather events. Historic once in 5,000 year floods, unprecedented droughts, and forest fires. That, unlike in the past, scientists no longer doubt that planetary warming is directly contributing to these events, and that time is now running out, and we need to find solutions. All this is happening in the run up to COP26, the 26th Conference of Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in Glasgow. What will it do? The world has been alerted by generations of scientists about the consequences of unbridled industrial activity, not only going back to Rachel Carson's 1962 book Silent Spring, but even earlier. Today, we know that as early as 1919, people were voicing concerns about climate warming. And certainly, the world's nations have been aware since at least the 1992 Rio summit that there are urgent environmental problems. However, 30 years later, we are more or less in the same place. Millions of ordinary people, socialists, feminists, indigenous people, ecologists, realize that to protect, replenish, and renew our denuded environment and defend the rights of Mother Earth, we need broad based, planned, and participatory social action. This can only be done through eco socialism. Contrary to Western myths, socialist countries have a much better environmental record than capitalist ones, and Cuban agroecology is a world leader today, as Salvatore Engel di Mauro points out. We must advance and popularize the best science to restore depleted nature and ecosystems, to transform lifestyles, and to re establish our metabolism with nature on a new foundation that promotes equality and is mindful of the rights of Mother Earth. If we do this, we can resolve the ecological emergency and begin to reverse it. We can regenerate Mother Earth and restore her rights and what we and preceding generations have wrongfully taken from her. We can live in a world where the full development of all individuals and societies enriches all others, where we can develop science and culture to the fullest while proudly handing down to future generations a healthy Mother Earth capable of nurturing their most ambitious and wisest projects. Thank you very much on behalf of Green Left Gauche.